So I wanted to make this video for a long time because I have been shooting film for probably 2 or 3 years now. I took 2 film classes at the International Center of Photography. They're both black and white, like manual film, but I'm going to talk about the 4 different types of film photography that I'm familiar with, which is instant, manual, point and shoot, and disposable. And I guess they're not necessarily like real types of film, that's kind of just like how I categorize them. I get a ton of questions about developing and disposable cameras, so this is gonna be like a beginner's guide to film, I guess. So you've probably all seen these, and I usually just buy them at CVS. The 2 packs are usually cheaper than buying just one. I think it's usually, or at least where I get them, it's 2 for $20 and usually 1 for like $15, so I usually buy 2 at a time. I've never really tried the Kodak ones. They're probably exactly the same. The only thing that's different is the way that the pictures look, so like kind of like the type of film determines what each picture looks like, or like what each roll of film looks like. I like these. I would say my number 1 tip is always use the flash, and don't take pictures of things that are far away in the dark because they won't show up. So basically there's only one setting on this camera, and so if you try and take a picture of something without the flash in the dark or something far away, your images will turn out black. So usually when I finish a roll, I'll peel it apart and then bust open the bottom of the film camera to get the roll of film out, and you'll know when it's done when like there's no more I guess friction when you're scrolling on the little thing. But yeah, these are really good for beginners and they're really easy to use. But if you want something that's a little cheaper and more sustainable, I would recommend getting a point and shoot camera. This is the one that I have. It's the Minolta Freedom Zoom, and it like really zooms. But I normally don't use the zoom, and it's basically the same thing. The only difference is you have to open the camera and put in your own roll of film, which is usually a lot cheaper than buying disposables. So basically you can buy a 3-pack of film for like $15, and then it's so much cheaper and you don't waste plastic because you're just using new rolls of film, if that makes sense. I bought this one on Etsy because I wanted something really small, and I think these like Minolta Freedom Zooms are some of the smallest. I've had a Canon that was a lot bigger and bulkier, and it wasn't fun to carry around. This is perfect. It's kind of beaten up, but I kind of like that because then I don't care about bringing it places. You can find a ton on Etsy, a ton in thrift stores, Depop, for like less than $20, and I definitely think it's worth the investment. You just have to make sure that it works before you use it, or before you buy it. I also like this one because it has a self-timer option. I think you just press the button and then set it up, press the shutter, and then run into your shot, and then you can be in some of the pictures, because usually I'm just behind the camera, but I like being in them sometimes. This is definitely more complex, but I also have this. This is like a knockoff of this like old 3D film camera. So basically it takes 3 pictures at once at 3 different angles, and I'll insert a video here of some that I've taken. It's really cool. This is just like a plastic camera, but it's really easy to use, and the pictures turn out really cool if you want to be like artistic with it or just have cool pictures. I think this is my favorite form of film just because it's so easy to use and affordable and more sustainable than buying disposables. Okay, the most complicated form of film, I think, is manual film. So it's basically like all these like old cameras. Mine's kind of broken right now. I'm not really sure what's happening with it. But basically, if you know how to use manual on like your DSLR, you will probably know how to use this. It's a little different. It's hard to explain. I would recommend watching someone else's video to learn how to do manual. But I got this for my black and white photography class at the ICP, and they taught me how to use it, which is very useful Yeah, this is definitely the most complicated. If you've never done anything with photography, I would not recommend. I think I bought this at a camera shop near me, and it was obviously like refurbished and everything because it's pretty old. Oh, you also have to manually focus it, which is not a fun time because it's all up to you to get the picture right. But okay, lastly is instant film. I've had an Insta-X, like one of those Fujifilm things. I found this at a little thrift store warehouse place in Berkeley. It was like $6, and it actually works. I'm just not very good at using it because, I don't know, the settings are kind of weird. For this one, I use this film. I think the SX70 is supposed to be made for like these old Polaroid cameras. I have a few. I've only shot like one pack of this because I'm scared, because this is like $20 for 10 pictures, and I don't know. But for my Insta-X pictures, like those, I had the Insta-X at first, and then I got this. Let me find it. The Insta-X printer. It is the best thing to ever exist because, one, you don't have to carry that camera around. I always feel like I'm carrying like 20 different cameras around at once, but this, you can just upload pictures from your camera roll and it prints them on this film. It makes it so much easier than lugging that thing around or lugging anything around. You could just do it when you're at home later and get like the perfect picture every time. It just connects to this app on your phone and you can print out as many as you want. It's actually the best thing ever. I know there's a new version that's like a combined camera and printer, which may actually be even better than this. This works perfectly fine for like printing out pictures for my room, or my friends asked me to print out pictures for them for their dorm rooms, so this is it. Okay, so for developing film, I have been using the darkroom.com, and in the past it's been pretty good at like getting my pictures back pretty quickly, but recently I think because of like the virus and everything, they've been taking a little bit longer, so I've been trying to find somewhere in LA that'll do it. I know there's tons of like local film developing 1-hour photo shops in LA, New York, like anywhere. Maybe even like in your hometown. I don't know. Just look up places that develop film. You'll find somewhere. I like the darkroom because they give back your negatives, but then I realized that I did nothing with the negatives, so now I'm just trying to find a place that'll send me the scans for the cheapest price. But yeah, if you can't find anywhere, I completely recommend the darkroom.com. It's so easy. I just choose standard scans and then the $5.95 shipping, return shipping, so when they send you their negatives back, you have to pay for that shipping. Otherwise, I don't check anything else like on the little form because I get questions about that all the time. So just standard scans and the $5.95 for shipping, and then usually it's $12 a roll plus the $5.95, so it's not that bad. There's always like, you can try and develop it yourself, but that's very complicated. I did that in my photography class, and it was just such a pain in the butt to, I don't know, and it was so stressful because you never know if you're gonna mess it up or not. I think that's it. If you have any questions about film, comment them below or DM me on Instagram. My Instagram is itsnataliepark. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want a more in-depth video about point and shoots or disposables, let me know. I will so do that. For now, that's it. I'll see you next time. Bye.